Ken Trahan, Lenny Vangilder with our first NBC weekend preview, brought to you by First NBC Bank, with locations throughout the greater New Orleans area, and of course, the big house downtown on Barone. That's First NBC Bank, and we appreciate their ongoing support. Well, the Hornets, first and foremost, they'll play the Memphis Grizzlies Friday night, coming off of a loss to the Lakers, in which Kobe Bryant made history by going over 30,000 points for his career. David Stern was in town. Celebrities were there, and kind of felt like the Lakers were playing a home game at Staples.
Yeah, something like that. Impressive comeback. I mean, the Lakers were down there, and then Kobe led things back late in the second quarter when he did get to 30,000, and then the Lakers really took over there early in the third quarter and put some distance, and then kind of coasted home from there. What can you say about Kobe Bryant? A lot of the discussion here coming off of the 30,000-point performances. Where does he rank among the NBA's greatest players? And he's certainly in the team picture when you do that. Exactly where he ranks, I'm not one to necessarily determine that. I mean, there's certainly people ahead of him, but I don't think the list is awful long.
Well, you look at the Hornets' plight, and Ryan Anderson is playing very well, as you might expect, having had to carry a load. Robin Lopez has played fairly well overall. Gravis Vasquez, much improved, has done a good job. Lance Thomas has given him some nice minutes when he's played. Other than that, it's been a bit of a stretch. Al-Farouq Aminu started quickly, but he's really kind of leveled off. And then you look at the other positions. In particular, their two-guard, they've really struggled. Roger Mason now starting, and not much there. Austin Rivers has really struggled.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're dealing with young players, I think you're going to see some inconsistency and some development process as well. And with the exception of Roger Mason, you're dealing with a very young basketball team. So you're going to have nights like you saw Monday with a solid performance against Milwaukee, and then you're going to have some nights like you saw on Wednesday where didn't maintain the performance for 48 minutes, and the Lakers came out of there with a convincing win.
Pelicans, why not? Tom Benson trademarked the name in 1992, trying to get a minor league baseball team in 1993. Didn't happen. Bring it back. It does have a name that is indigenous to the culture. Okay, it's not intimidating, but then again, there are many other NBA nicknames that aren't intimidating either. I'm okay with it.
I have no problem with it either. It definitely reflects Louisiana, and it's going to be a source of pride here. It's been interesting to see some of the national response in the past few days since the story leaked out, but yeah, I'd find it interesting they're saying this hasn't been done. No, it's done. It's just hasn't been announced, but it's done. They're letting the NBA kind of do its course. The Hornets aren't going to confirm it, but it's done. Yeah.
The Saints aren't changing names, and they are changing venues as they play at the Meadowlands against the Giants in MetLife Stadium. And, of course, they've had the Giants number the last few times they've played them, but under different circumstances, in particular playing in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. That's not the case this time. The Giants coming off of a loss, Saints coming off of a loss. What do you expect?
Well, one thing I think is interesting in this, although it hasn't mattered previous occasions, Giants have a short week. The Saints are well rested. This is a Giants team that played Monday night. The Saints didn't play or haven't played since now a week ago Thursday. So Saints with 4 more days of rest. Is that going to be a factor? This time of year, I think that little extra boost of rest can be a good thing. And now, obviously, the Saints' backs are to the wall, but hey, the Giants' backs may be to the wall as well after losing to the Redskins on Monday night. Their margin for error in the NFC East is basically gone.
And everybody will be watching Drew Brees to see if he's able to snap out of this, for lack of a better term, funk that he finds himself in. 2 pick sixes against the 49ers and a career-high 5 interceptions against the Falcons, which directly contributed to the defeats. So we know he's not done. We know he's not declining. We know he's pressing. We know his timing's been off. We know he misses Sean Payton. Maybe this will be an opportunity for him to show what he's really made of.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think if you look at Drew Brees' 7 years in New Orleans, there are times when he does start to press, when he does try to force things. And when he just kind of lets the offense take care of itself and not try to necessarily make a play that isn't there, he's a phenomenal quarterback. When he starts to press and force things, he can look very pedestrian. So, we get back to the point where that the Drew Brees that we're used to seeing that lets the offense kind of run itself and let the plays come to him and happen, and not be the one trying to force things. I think could be a different Saints offense this Sunday.
Yeah, and even though Seattle won last week and really put the Saints in a bad spot in that last wild card spot pursuit, they're not done yet. If they can win the rest of their games, they still have a legitimate shot, in particular if Seattle splits its games.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge, but you just got to do what you can control, and it starts on Sunday.
Yep, against a good Giants team that is going to be loaded for bear after their loss to the Redskins. Don't forget the Prep Football Championships in the Superdome Friday and Saturday. Full coverage here at sportsnola.com. And, of course, you can listen to WGSO 990 AM for full coverage starting all afternoon and evening Friday, all morning, afternoon, and evening on Saturday. This has been our first NBC weekend preview, brought to you by First NBC Bank, with locations virtually everywhere. First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of sportsnola.com. Lenny, have a great weekend.
I know you will. We'll see you Monday.
All right, for Lenny, I'm Kenny. Thanks for joining us. God bless you.